Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog Farmhouse on Boone.com, and today I want to show you a really simple tutorial that I did just last week, and that is make some stockings out of a sweater I found at a thrift shop. I got this idea last week, and so I loaded my kids up in the van and we headed out to a thrift shop in my town, and I found an extra large sweater for $2. I basically just traced out a pattern, which I used a stocking that we already have, and you'll see it in the video. I just went about a half an inch outside of the original stocking just to add for a seam allowance, but I traced around it with my scissors and then I sewed it right sides together, adding in a little loop for the top, which if you watched my video on drop cloth curtains or on my grain sack and ticking pillows, I use the same bias tape for all of my ties and loops. So I just added that in, sewed it in, right sides together, and then I turned it out. Now, this one I didn't line, and you'll see the difference that it's a little bit floppy, like that. Still totally fine, but then this one I did, just kind of as an experiment to see what works better. So you'll see in the video, after I cut out and sew the sweaters together, I cut out flannel in the same size and put it inside the stocking, and that's just to line it to hold the shape a little bit better and make it not so floppy. So like I said, that's optional, but that is something you could do. So if you want to spend just a few extra minutes on the project, you can get some flannel. Obviously you can do it the other way too and make it really, really simple and whip out 5 of these in no time at all. In fact, I actually had enough of the sweater to make at least another 1 or 2 stockings because it was an extra large sweater. So what I looked for is I wanted something cable knit and not with a big yarn and like a loose weave because it would come apart when you're cutting it. So I looked for one with really small threads and a tight weave of a cable knit type sweater. So that's what I used. And like I said, I just cut the 2 stocking pieces, sewed them right side together with the loop in, and then I stitched it around the outside, and then I serged it. But if you don't have a serger, what you want to do is you want to make sure to trim the inside seams to a pretty small amount. If you don't, the stocking is gonna look wavy and kind of have some messed up seams. So you want to cut tight, especially around the curves. You might even want to snip in a little bit close to your seam. I use a serger, and so it makes a nice cut edge with the blade. But if you don't have a serger, I would recommend zigzag stitching it with a tight zigzag, and then cutting in kind of tight close around the curves. So I will show you this. You can see that around the curve, it's very small. I don't have excess. That's what would make everything all wavy and funny. And you could also clip in around the curves, but being careful not to cut your original seam, and that'll reduce that waviness that you get when you sew like a sweater project. Super simple stocking. I almost want to go get another white sweater and then have kind of every other like white, tan. I think that would look really pretty. Took about 5 minutes. A very, very simple project to do. And so now I'm going to show you the process, and you can kind of watch me do the steps that I just told you about. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you and that you will go to your nearest thrift shop and find some really cheap sweaters to make some beautiful stockings for your mantle or built-ins or blanket ladder or wherever you put stockings in your home. I know a lot of you have asked me on Instagram and are wondering about the baby. I am still pregnant, and so my due date was yesterday. I plan to go at least a week past because my last couple babies did, so if any of you are waiting on the edge of your seat, don't be just yet. I tend to go late, so I will definitely update you, probably first on Instagram. So if you're curious about the baby, come find me at Farmhouse on Boone on Instagram or Facebook if that's where you are. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new here, please subscribe to my channel for more of our handmade home food from scratch and our simple lifestyle here on Boone Street. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.